vendor data. So this is kind of where I'm coming from personally, but then also kind of speaking for other members and other manufacturers that have spoken to us as the Aggregate Spend Alliance and gave us some information about where they stand. Are there any other types of activities that that any members on the line may want to bring up as examples of activities run by meeting planning vendors? Okay. I'm hoping that I did a good job at representing both pharma and medical device in this case as well. Okay, so what are some of the common expenses? Now, when we actually get to understanding the nuances of the types of expenditures that go on with these programs, then it really starts shedding light as to where we should start establishing guidelines, specifications, who should be responsible for submitting what types of expenditures. And you only really get to understand what these expenses are when you actually start looking at the invoices and you start looking at the backup information yourself, the backup data that the vendor can provide to you, whether it's receipts, whether it's their own internal reports from their systems. But we find that initially a disclosure and transparency team may have a pretty decent idea as to the types of expenditures from their own experience, from talking to these departments. But when you actually start looking at the paperwork, that's when it really starts opening up the details. So in trying to categorize some of this information, we, of course, have meeting management fees. These are the fees that are paid to the vendor just for them managing the event and all the logistics associated with it. But if they're developing materials for the event, if there's a binder or an invitation or other sorts